What is up, awesome people, and welcome back to another Wi-Fi Wednesday shenanigans! Okay, first point straight off the bat is Wi-Fi Wednesday is going to run a little bit differently for the next couple of weeks. Patch 1.2 has just come out, therefore I cannot go online, which means I can't use my usual sound shenanigans, so unfortunately it's going to be straight music in the background. Sorry for the inconvenience. Unfortunately, I can't update because I have about 84 videos to go through and review for Wi-Fi Wednesday. I've surely have slacked, but I've got to do a mass recording, so at the same time, prepare for like 3 uploads per Wednesday for Wi-Fi Wednesday. I've got to get through the last international challenge, plus the last international challenge for February, and I think for the rest of the teams, they're all done. This 3 for Sandroom is the last 3 we'll get. I think I might be able to squeeze out another Rain Room. I just realized there's a few more teams there I haven't done. And after that, there's like maybe 3 from Championship ranking. I'm not really too sure what they're doing. But other than that, it's just mainly ICs I need to get out before the next IC for this month, which will be another 45 battles that I'll have to put onto my versus recorder before updating, of course. So anyways, without further ado, let's jump into tonight's shenanigans. The first one straight off the bat is actually not so much shenanigans on my part. It's more the shenanigans coming from the opponent. I just thought I might share with everyone if they're looking for some strategies I wouldn't mind using in doubles. This is at the same time kind of showcasing what type of different strategies you can pull off in doubles compared to trying to pull them off in singles. Anyways, we've got the opponent leading with a most likely Power of Alchemy Muck and their Salazzle, and I'm leading with my Hypno with Gigalith. And the reason why I'm thinking it's Power of Alchemy Muck is because it can take the Corrosion ability from the Salazzle and then pull off some major shenanigans using the moveset that it's running. So anyways, the Poison Gas does go off from the Salazzle, poisoning both my Gigalith and my Hypno, which is, you know, not so annoying until you see Venom Drench. So that's going to lower my attack, special attack, and speed, which I'm not exactly too worried about because obviously it's a Trick Room team. I have absolutely no speed anyways. So I'm basically going to be having the speed of like a Pukumuku with base 5 after these shenanigans. Anyways, when in doubt, throw a boulder because I'm at -1, so my Stone Edge won't do much unless I crit, and I can't afford to miss anyway, so I'm going straight for the Z Stone Edge. Continental Crush, throw big boulders at the lower Muck because I hate seeing this thing, whether it be VGC, doubles, or singles. It's a real pain in the bum now. Oh boy. So even there with a -1, I managed to do 3/4 damage, which was actually quite impressive, to say the least. Trick Room goes up at the same time, which is really awesome. So now the shenanigans for Trick Room finally take place, which is really cool. So Sandstorm's going to buff the Hypno, Muck, and Salazzle for some damage, which is great, because if Salazzle was running like a Sash or something, that's now broken. Muck is going to run the Black Sludge on that to recover some health back, which is why I said it's most likely Power of Alchemy, because the Figgy Berry, or whatever berry it usually runs, didn't kick off. So Poison's going to activate as well on both Hypno and the Gigalith, and I do believe it's just normal poison damage instead of the badly poison, which is still fine with me, but the fact that they're running Venom Drench is kind of the main issue here. So I go for the Earthquake here, because I'm like, I really don't want to kill the Salazzle first and have Power of Alchemy kick off onto the Muck. Power of Alchemy, of course, cannot activate when both Pokemon are dead. Hehe, insert meme there. Anyway, Psychic obviously didn't work there because there's no target on the field, so Poison does also rip into both my allies, plus a Sandstorm into Hypno. As I said in the last Wi-Fi Wednesday, it's kind of unfortunate though I've got to run Mental Herb on Hypno because most of my moves besides Psychic are all status moves, so I guess it's the only downside of having to run that instead of Safety Goggles. Anyways, Venusaur comes onto the field, I'm like, oh please don't be Mega. And of course Pukumuku, I'm like, oh of course they've got a Pukumuku on this particular strategy. Anyways, of course it's going to be a Mega Venusaur, so this thing is going to be extremely tanky. Even without the Venom Drench support, this thing is already quite naturally tanky. But with Venom Drench support, which Pukumuku is also running, I'm not exactly going to be hitting this thing very hard. So attack, special attack, and speed drop once again on the Gigalith and Hypno, bringing me down to -2 on all 3 stats. As I said, not really too much of a threat on the speed stat, but on attack and special attack, and yeah, that's kind of a problem. So here comes the Psychic for my Hypno, and that has 56 special attack investment, and you can see there at -2, that does absolutely nothing to a Mega Venusaur. However, I'm just going to live there, which is awesome, but unfortunately I'm going to die to the poison. That's kind of not cool. So, more Sandstorm damage to that Pukumuku, Venusaur, and my Hypno, and yeah, Poison's just going to finish off the Gigalith, unfortunately. Gigalith did really well there, taking out the 2 biggest threats for that team, which would have been the Salazzle and the Muck. And just dealing damage Oh, tanking, I think Power Whip would have been the most impressive. I don't think it did anything else. Anyway, Sandslash is going to come onto the field. Sorry, I think it did a little bit somewhere. So because Sandslash is a Steel type in a low-end form, Toxic can't affect it, so therefore it's the best counter to this strategy considering there's no Corrosion, Salazzle still around. If that Muck managed to get the power of Alchemy off, that means every Pokemon I would have had been Poison regardless if it was a Steel type or Poison type or whatever. So Icicle Crash off coming off the Sandslash there does get the Critical Hit, which I'm not too sure mattered because Mega Venusaur does carry the Thick Pad ability, which does reduce the damage done from Ice type moves. I'm going to say it did matter because of that reason, but as I said, may not have mattered depending on what EVs they were running, if that was a sweepy set or a tanky set. So the last Pokemon is of course the Pyukumuku, which is keep going to use the Venom Drench for some odd reason. I could have just swapped out there predicting the Venom Drench, but I was like, just in case I did go for the Venom Drench, I went for something like Counter or something like that, I'll stick around and go Psychic on the Hypno, which is of course at -2, and you can see that damage, it's absolutely non-existent. So Iron Head there, even though it resisted, I did get the critical hit, brings the Pyukumuku down to the orange. And by the stage with Pyukumuku, I was like, okay, I'm just going to deal some chip damage to it, just slowly weaken its health down. Meaning whoever takes the last hit is not going to take that much from in and down at all. If it even is carrying it, but I'm assuming it is because otherwise it would have negated someone's power up on that team most likely. Alright, so my last Pokemon is of course the Iron Ball Brave Garchomp, the bulky set of course. So I'm going to protect there going for the Earthquake on Garchomp. By the stage, I was like, yep, I think this is going to be game. Earthquake will do some nice damage to the Pyukumuku. Will it be enough to take it out? No, it's not. So meaning this thing's going to be really tanky in defense by the looks of it. So Toxic goes off once again. They're going to try for one last Venom Drench resort here, but there is absolutely no point because next turn they are going to go down to an Earthquake either from Garchomp or Sandslash in a low-end form. Therefore, this is game. So there's the final Earthquake going from the Sandslash to low-end form, and down goes the Pyukumuku. In and out will activate, dealing a little bit of damage there to Sandslash, and yeah, that's pretty much it. As I said, overall execution of the strategy was pretty cool, trying to rely on Power of Alchemy and Corrosion ability on the Salazzle and the Alolan Milk. Unfortunately though, once those two fall, that's kind of it, the strategy falls apart. Okay, so next up we have this battle. I wasn't exactly going to include this one originally, but I was like, these are my last 3 battles, so let's try and get some more shenanigans onto the field with Iron Ball Garchomp. I know how much you guys love the unique and odd Trick Room Pokemon. So their lead is going to be the Infernape and the Incineroar. My lead, as usual, is going to be the Hypno and Gigalith. But I was like, oh, if I don't include this battle, then you guys won't be able to see this impressive damage calculation coming on here. So I'm going to protect here on the Gigalith because I know there's going to be a close combat or something coming along these lines. Close combat doesn't need come from the Infernape, so I protect on that. Leech Life coming the Incineroar. I was like, okay, could have gone for Darkest Lariat or something like that. Went for Leech Life instead, so I'm assuming it's like Assault Vested or something. Assault Vest, Choice Banded or something like that. Didn't see Life Orb damage, so it's one of those two, I'd say. So Trick Room goes up, and I get ripped by the Sandstorm yet again. So is Incineroar and the Infernape, so most likely Infernape would have been something like Life Orb, which I think most times it runs Life Orb, sorry not Life Orb, Focus Sash. So that's good, if that was sashed, it's no longer a thing. So when in doubt, throw a boulder, because that Incineroar is going to be a bit of a pain in case it does have something like Darkest Lariat. It could very well rip into my Hypno and cause some problems. So I'm just going to throw a big boulder at the Incineroar. By this stage, I think I was almost using a Z-move every battle because why not? I don't use Z-moves any other time. So Incineroar bites the dust after having a massive boulder thrown at it. It's a shame it didn't have Rock Smash because that's what it needed at that point. Psychic onto the Infernape doesn't kill it, so I'm assuming it would have been some type of weird investment, which I don't know if that would have lived naturally or if that was running something like health or something. I didn't actually expect it to live, considering its frail defenses. I could be wrong. But anyways, it's going to go down to the red. I think it threw off a close combat onto the Gigalith. And it did impressive damage, but Gigalith lived with 25 HP. So Charizard comes into the field. I was thinking, oh, maybe this will be Mega Charizard. No, it's a dead Charizard after a Stone Edge. I can't believe that actually landed. Normally Stone Edge misses, so that was thankful for that. So Psychic goes off onto the Infernape, taking out the Infernape. I'm like, right, they've got one Pokemon left. I still have my 2 leads, which is awesome. Sandstorm's still ripping into my Hypno here, bringing that down to 84 health, and their last Pokemon is going to be the Metagross. I'm like, okay, they haven't used the Mega yet. This is probably Mega Gross. No, it's not. It's going for the Bullet Punch, which is still going to be enough to take out my Gigalith, regardless of how defensive that is. I mean, even with 52 defense, 196 health, it's dead, the Bullet Punch. So I've got nothing else to do with Hypno except swagger this thing. So this could go either very, very well, or it could go very, very sour for me from this point now, considering I've just given it a +2 in attack. And it's a physical sweeper too. I mean, heck, I'd probably fall out of my chair if it was a special attacker. Anyways, my other Pokemon in reserve is Garchomp, of course, and Trick Room is still up, so I think this person might have fallen off the chair or nearly dropped their 3DS, considering Garchomp just outsped everyone in Trick Room. Killing my own Hypno, because there's nothing else Hypno could do, so I may as well sack it. So, unfortunately, it gets past the Confusion and gets past my Sandveil as well, and manages to hit me with Rock Tomb, even though I'm already slow as all hell with Iron Ball and Brave Nature to a 0 in speed. Interesting. Anyways, the Trick Room and Sandstorm rare out, unfortunately, and my last Pokemon in reserve was the Sandslash, who is already somewhat weak to this Metagross if it's got Hammer Arm. So it's still confused, and it smacks itself in confusion, bringing it down to the very low red, be finished off by the Earthquake from the Trick Room Garchomp. So good night, Metagross. It was fun knowing you. And there we go, that is game 2. As I said, I mainly put it in there for the damage calculations against Gigalith, just to kind of just show off how the beauty of its defensive investment. It can, as I said, do some very nice damage physical-wise as well, with the only small investment, 64 attack investment. Z Stone Edge obviously smacks down really hard, and Earthquake as well, Heavy Slam for the Tapus. Which leads us to his final battle. So I think out of all the Sand Room battles I did, this actually might have been the most roughest battle that I had. All of them have kind of been smooth sailing up to this point, so let's just see what type of shenanigans go on here. So this time I finally show off the comfy lead with the Gigalith, so we get to see what this does. So they're going to lead with the Blaziken and the Greninja lead. I was like, okay, it's not Mega Blaziken because the Mega Stone isn't out yet, and yet it still isn't out yet. I'm still a bit angry about that. I still want my Mega Skeptolite and my Mega Swampert, not so much Blaziken, I barely use that. Anyways, I'm predicting something like a water move coming from the Greninja here, something like a water shuriken. So I go in my Cradilly with the Storm Drain. But no, it goes for the double team. So I was like, oh great, it's going to be one of these battles. And the high jump kick as well from the Blaziken. That's going to absolutely stop my Cradilly, bringing it down to 21 health. Trick Room does come up from the comfy, which is awesome. So now I can finally try and pull this battle around, because I know this is going to be really rough. 2 of my Pokemon are weak to Blaziken's high jump kick. In all facts, though, I could probably just go Protect on the Gigalith if I really wanted to and try and get the recall damage done to that, but I thought why not risk it and just try this shenanigans. So I got Floral Healing on the Comfy because of Triage. I do get the priority on that, even though I am already in Trick Room, but unfortunately I wouldn't say Comfy Speed is exactly Trick Room material, but because of Triage it does make a really nice support though for Trick Room. Very, very nice. So I completely derped and forgot that Protein kicked off on the Greninja, making it a normal type, so Giga Drain didn't do as much damage as I'd like, and I didn't get back as much as I'd like either. But I was lucky, the Blaziken did go for Sword Dance, so that was a free turn for me. Greninja just is being Greninja for some odd reason and just continuing to raise its evasion with Double Team. So that's going to be an issue because it's at +2 evasion and I just seem to never hit. Okay, so Sandstorm is still ripping into both of these Pokemon. Also, I think I might have went for the Dazzling Gleam or something that turn. Greninja is down into the orange thanks to that. It did very little to Blaziken. Here comes the Earth Power from the Cradilly, but unfortunately without any boost from Storm Drain, I'm not going to be able to do that much to a Blaziken. I am able to bring it down to the orange though. Dazzling Gleam once again goes off, hitting both Pokemon, bringing Greninja down into the red. Blaziken very close to the red range there. Ice Beam from Greninja, Protein taking it into an Ice-type Pokemon. Cradilly takes it like an absolute beast thanks to Assault Vest and its defensive investment. Hydro Kick, however, at +2, yeah, I never stood a chance at all in this bloody universe to live that. That would have been a Oko probably twice over. Okay, so the Sandstorm's still ripping into both of these Pokemon. Greninja very close to the KO there. Blaziken now finally into the red. Speed Boost meaning absolutely nothing in the Trick Room at the moment. So that leads us into the Trick Room Garchomp. I was like, okay, this is going to be very interesting. I've never actually done damage calcs from Earthquake onto a Comfy from my particular Garchomp, so this will be interesting. I actually managed to hit both Pokemon once again, meaning that +2 in evasion was absolutely useless from that Greninja, meaning they probably could have used those 2 turns actually attacking me. But thankfully I took out the Blaziken, that's all that really mattered in the end, because as I said, that was a huge counter to most of my team. I could have protected with Comfy to stop the high jump kick there. Do have Protect as well on Garchomp, and I did Protect as well on my Gigalith, but it was like a last resort thing I wanted to resort to. Anyways, our last 2 Pokemon in reserve is going to be the Samurott, which is very nice to see. I love seeing Samurott in battle. Very unappreciated Pokemon. I know a few people might disagree there, but overall it's a very underrated Pokemon. I highly suggest people try it out actually once, maybe once, to see what it's like. It's very nice with Sword Dance, Aqua Jet, Waterfall, and a few other moves as well. Makes a very nice special attacker too. Anyways, we totally never saw the Mega Salamence coming. We'll just pretend that was already Mega when it came out. Aqua Jet coming from the Samurott, so I'm going to take that really well because I am running quite defensive EVs in my Comfy. Go for the Rock Slide to deal some damage onto both Samurott and Salamence, kind of hoping for the flinch there, but I don't think I get it. Do manage to rip off a Dazzling Gleam there to bring the Salamence down to the orange. Samurott very close to the orange. And unfortunately, Dragon Rush does manage to connect with me, and that is going to absolutely demolish my Garchomp, even with the small investment in defense that I'm running. It's like 4 defense and 188 HP, I do believe, off the top of my head. I'm still going to get taken out by that. So my last Pokemon in reserve is going to be the Gigalith, so it's all down to Gigalith here. So Sandstorm comes back up after just losing it, and I think Trick Room went down as well. So for that, I'm going to go for the Protect here, because I know this Samurott's going to go for a Water-type move. Wasn't too sure it's going to be a mixed attack, or if it's just running physical moves like Waterfall, Aqua Jet. I know I've seen things like Aqua Jet, Hydro Pump before, which can be quite off-putting. So Sword Dance from Samurott. I tried to combine Sword Dance and Samurott there, didn't quite work. Trick Room goes up once again from the Comfy. Very glad the Salamence actually went for Roost there. Otherwise, I might have had a few problems coming from here, actually. Okay, so Comfy's still getting taken down by the Sandstorm there. Samurott and Salamence are going to take a little bit of damage as well from the Sandstorm. So the Samurott at a +2 is going to go for the Aqua Jet onto my Gigalith. Thankfully, as I said, I got some nice defensive and special defensive investment into the Gigalith. And as I said, I'm in like extreme measures here, so I'm definitely going to throw off a Z Stone Edge onto the Mega Mets. I actually kind of like this move actually. It seems very viable all around. Just deals nice damage, even though with a small attack investment. It just pulls me out of so much shenanigans, it's not funny. Okay, so here comes the big boulder. Boom! And that's one flat Salamence. I don't think that Salamence stood a chance there. So Salamence finally goes down. Go for the Dazzling Gleam. This will go at the full power now since there's only one target on the field, bringing the Samurott down to the mid-red range. Sandstorm bringing it down to the very low red range. And with that, that's pretty much game. I can go for a Dazzling Gleam here or an Earthquake from the Gigalith. Although Earthquake is a bit risky here because if they went for a Protect, I would have been killing my own Comfy here, I do believe. But thankfully they didn't Protect, and Comfy does live on the 13 health. Very, very lucky there. So there we go, that is game. As I said, that last point I probably could have been killing my own ally there, and just probably would have been really, really bad if something went pear-shaped at that last point. Anyways, guys, that is it for tonight's Wi-Fi Wednesday. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As I said, next week will be probably the start of the 3-way uploads for Wednesday. So if you take 3 from the total count of my battle replays, I'll be down to 81 videos I need to go through and sort out before the next IC. And the fact that I can't go online as well because of the new patch coming out. And at the same time, I can't really update to 1.2 until I do these battles because they all will corrupt. So if you are thinking about updating to 1.2 and you have battle replays around, probably best to either try and reserve them in some way or you will end up losing them. Anyways, guys, until next time, this is Lady KrimZen saying ciao for now, but not forever. Ciao!